Live.
Welcome back to another episode of Duel with myself, Alicia Solomon, and Megan Hines, where we discuss everything the challenge. We are back for season 38, Ride or Dies, episode 13. We have a little blind play on words, as Stevie Wonder can see. And this week, now, when they taught us in kindergarten to help others, and I know Jesus says to help people as you would want to be helped. However, George Bush once said, "Leave these Negroes behind," and we need to leave some people behind. Like we're gonna talk about it, but honestly, some of you need to be left behind in the dirt. Okay, in the dirt, in your throw up. Like you gotta go. You can't come on.
What
It
a
was just a
intro.
lot.
What a
I
intro.
mean, it is Friday, New Year, same shit.
So we come back into the episode with Fessy returning to the house, and he has his fourth elimination win. He hoped that the other team would not take a shot at him again, and he'd rather the target be on the 7-time champ and Bananas. He's also still pissed that Mariah did her burn vote, which essentially sent him in. And then they get into it a little bit. She said she didn't realize it in the moment because we didn't know what would happen if it was a tie vote. Um, and Johnny was just sitting there, kind of stirring the pot, just like listening. And then Fessy kind of confronts Jordan about his gameplay and his why he switched up his vote. And Jordan stood on it. He said it was out of spite because Tori gave him an ultimatum. And then we got into another argument between Jordan and Tori.
Which I hope for the last time we get this argument because this has been reoccurring every single week and it's getting old. It's tired. We're just over it. Like, there's no need for every single week for us to get through the same arguments with these two. But starting with Mariah, I mean, like I said last week, I guess she, in the moment, she didn't realize. I'll give her that. She didn't realize that what the situation was. But honestly, nah, I'm not even gonna give her a pass. Girl, math is math. Your math wasn't mathing. Um, as far as Jordan and Faisal is concerned, what's his name? Faisal, whatever. Um, I think that he honestly, what do you expect? Like when Jordan said that he gave him his word and they had that little conversation. I feel like Jordan and Devin had the conversation about him prior into him being the main vote anyway. So they were already looking to break up Nelson and Fessy. It wasn't anything that was new. What changed was Tori and her ultimatum. And so I feel like he needs to have that energy for Tori rather than Jordan because it really wasn't anything that you know, Jordan changed in a minute besides what Tori had said to him. So I think it's a lot of energies that need to be redirected. And some need to be redirected in the mirror because when Tori gave her little soliloquy of how you came in my bed and you did all this, like, girl, we got the footage on the tape of you asking this man this question. It's like, stop with the nonsense.
Yeah, I was just. She was like, the way she yelled at him, like, I'm just like, girl, like you said, the tape is there. And she was like, this has been your way the whole season, Jordan. Has it? Has it really? Because who's been in power most of the season? Tori. She's been skating because her and Devin have been scheming their ways out of elimination when it was in pairs. And which team is up and wins? Her team. And she's looking out for her own self and her own team. Jordan got nothing to do with that. That's all you, girl. All you. Cause she was saying she was like sticking her neck out for him the whole time. Like, how? That's what how have you done that? Cause all his business is for
Yeah.
you, and that's it. Was Jordan? Wrong, but he said a little bit because he went too far with calling her a terrorist. However, he was justified because you put him in a corner, and you got to deal with that and leave us alone.
Please.
Because, like you said, every week it's something different. Used to like Tori yelling over something and her emotions is tiring because we don't have that much. At this point, honestly, we don't have that much drama. The only drama we have is them, and it's the same thing that we regurgitate every single week about their relationship and how they've been doing this whole season. It is tired. So with that, we're gonna move on to the next people. With the team talk, Devin talks to his team and said that they were still able to weaken the other squad, and they can still capitalize on that as well because they still managed to break up Fessy and Nelson in a sense because Nelson's gone. Fessy's still there though, but Nelson's gone. That weakens the other team because he was a good physical attribute to the other team. Weaken him, good. He's gone. And Mariah said that she knew that her ride or die doesn't have her back. So it's imperative for her team to keep winning so that they can keep themselves intact, especially because they have less people than the other team. And how these challenges will pan out, we saw it today. What was the episode? Um, it's gonna get a little bit dicey for them. So yeah. And then the other team also congratulated Fessy on his win and said that him coming back scared the other team. And they said that essentially the main goal for them is to win for themselves and their team, and that their ride or dies come second to that. And they finished out their little meeting saying, do it for Nelly.
You know what's so funny? You know how there's one part of the show that I completely like blank out in my mind, like it goes Men in Black. That was it because I didn't even hear that. I'm glad I didn't hear that bullshit because they are so phony. They are so phony, 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 phony. Like I can't.
Like, y'all didn't talk to
I
this
was not rooting
man.
for Nelson. Yeah, I was not
Like,
rooting for him when he was shooting in the gym. Like, please stop it.
at all. Like, y'all were not including him in nothing. And then once he leaves, y'all like, let's do it for Nelly. Y'all hope that man. Y'all didn't talk to him. He felt like an outsider at his own team. So that's that. Y'all can try and make this fall, do it for Nelly. Cool. But we see it. We saw what happened. It is what it is. And then we got to a phone call with Amber and Chauncey calling her family. And she was just really gushing about how Chauncey has been a good support for her this season. I don't know the timeline on when she found out that her grandmother had passed away, but it was probably around that time frame. So that was just showing like at this moment, like he's been helping her not only within the game, and just showing up, but also just personally.
Yeah, I think that storyline is important. I mean, they've been pressing the ride or die part of it, but also I don't think that they've mentioned, you know, Amber's grandmother's passing, and with another person who has been dealing with a death that recently happened, you know, it's like, why highlight one and then not highlight the other? Like, I get them trying to create a story for both parties, and Amber has Chauncey, and that's who she's playing for. But like, that's also a part of Amber's life and her story too, and why she wants to continue to keep fighting. So I just think that it's really just shady that them not including that part of it, because I'm pretty sure she spoke about it. They just didn't edit it in because it didn't fit whatever story that they created. But it was good to see Chauncey and her family connect on the phone, and have that opportunity to speak with her family. And I just think that it's just weird. I feel like we've always saying this, but Amber just gets like stepchild treatment on the show. It seems like not even with just the cast, but it also seems with production as well. Like, she came on her first season and did what she needed to do in one, and y'all still treat her like a stepchild. I don't understand.
Yeah, like I should have saved this one tweet because Zach got on the internet and tweeted that the whole challenge row was rooting for Nani, and I'm like, it seems like the whole show is rooting for Nani, and but given like her circumstances as well, but like you said, like y'all just pushing for one person and not other people who are going through the same thing.
Like I don't even want to make it so trivial where I'm comparing death, because that
Yeah,
is just, I'm not even trying to do that. What I'm saying is Nani had a death in her family that was close to her, and so did Amber.
yeah,
Now, again, people grieve and go through, that process differently. And obviously it's a mom and a grandma that's close to them. But like, it's just, why show one and not show the other? I'm not saying that one tops the other or one shouldn't be shown. Like,
yeah.
both of them should be highlighted and shown that they're going through that process. But I just think that it's weird that they never showed Amber's, and we have to find out after the fact.
You know that that's not what I was trying to do. I was just saying like we just see people more championing Nani for how she's been dealing with it this season, whereas like you said, Amber's been treated like a stepchild like this whole time, and we don't get as much shown. That's really it. Um, it was just it just annoyed me of all people to treat it that with it was Zach too. But yeah, then Nani and Casey do talk about her mother and her passing, and that day was Nani's mother's birthday. So they reminisce on Casey meeting her as Nani's first girlfriend, and they had a mini little um, celebration memorial for her mother for that moment.
Yeah, and rest in peace to Nani's mother. Sorry for her loss. We've talked about this since she came back on the show in her first episode with Johnny and reintroducing herself and her telling that story. And, obviously that's something that's close to her. And so, having Casey there, that's a good thing that she has her partner to go through it with that situation. Um, and yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. And we head into the daily challenge, and this challenge is called Blind Faith, where both teams will compete in four events, kind of like a triathlon in a sense. That's what my thought was with how this challenge was going to be. And for each event, they'll nominate players to go against the other opposing team's players. And the team to complete all four stations with the best time will win. The first event was Bullseye. And so the representatives for both teams were Jordan and Fessel. But Jordan was like excited because like he was like, I have good aim, I could do this. And then Fessel was like, oh, I just wanted to volunteer because it's one against Jordan.
It's like monkey see, monkey do. Like, why did you have to even volunteer yourself to go just because Jordan was there to compare yourself? Like, he's always in competition with everyone else, especially Jordan and Bananas. And it's like, you need to compete against yourself, because you is whooping your own ass. Like, you keep beating your own self up. I don't understand.
You always say like be careful what you wish for because he was in a whole raw hurt in this challenge. So it is funny too because Amber was like, this is just ego, ego, ego. This is all it is between both of them. In this first event, they have to knock out 3 of 7 targets. And if they miss a target, they have to drink a mystery smoothie drink of sorts. And we all know it's storied. It's on tape, on racks, that Fessy is not great with food that is not actually food. And if he missed a lot of these, it would be disgusting. And it was. So he could they both were not hitting the targets at all. So it was just a vomit B-roll the whole time.
Yeah, was not feeling that. Definitely was occupying myself doing something else besides watching grown men throw up, because I don't want to see that. And between Jordan and Fessy, like, I really thought it wouldn't have taken them that long to hit a target. And, honestly, I just like didn't even see how far and distant the target was from where they were at. But it took them a very long time to get it. And whatever concoction they were drinking, like immediately they were just like just violently throwing up. It was just honestly just disgusting to watch. And yeah, I was not a fan of this portion of the challenge for sure.
Yeah, this challenge took about an hour for them to even be done because Fessy was done last. Um, like 30 minutes. Okay, it's like about 20 minutes in. Devin ended up becoming Jordan's spotter to see when it was the right time for him to hit the target. And Jordan hit the first target 20 minutes in. 30 minutes in, Fessy finally hit his first. Right after Jordan hit his second. Um, and then he also hit his third. So he hit all three of his. And Fessy was struggling with trying to get the targets and by proxy getting that drink down, which is horrible. At one point, they were like, let's just get this over with, and this like someone was like, Devin, help Fessy. I would not help that man. I would rather see him struggle with drinking that thing than helping him. Because like Horacio said, that was gonna bite them back in the ass.
This is where they lost me. And I think it was Amber who said something like somebody was championing to help Fessy. And in my mind, I'm just like, for what? Like, honestly, let him keep going. Let the time keep running out. He's going to have to figure it out at some point. Just let him figure it out. Like, y'all need as much time as y'all can. Y'all already had like a 30-minute lead at that point. So it was no need for anyone to be like, you know what, let's just help him. Let's just give him a bone. Because that always comes back to bite you. And I was with Horacio. Like, I really like Horacio this season. He's shown that he's a great competitor, but also he got the brains. Well, I honestly, he has some kind of common sense because he was just like, man, listen, let his ass sit out there, keep throwing up, keep missing the target, do whatever you got to do so that we can have the most time because they have the least people on that team, so they need to have the opportunity to have a head start. And I just think that the good faith and the underdog situation, like, okay, it was cute when y'all was helping each other out. Not you coming to help another team out. Like that's just like, all right, y'all doing a lot, and y'all are just putting, more on yourselves than you need to.
Yeah, because Devin was like, I'm not going to do this because I'm trying to help save Tori because that's my ride or die. But I'm like, at the end of the day, y'all are still competing. You don't need to be helping her in this moment. Like, y'all, like, at this point, when Fessy was done, it was at an hour and 3 minutes. Their team was already at 40 minutes. Y'all could have let him just move over like, until he timed out, essentially. He could have just timed out for this one.
Well, we don't even know if he would have timed out. I mean, they probably would have eventually if it got way too long, but like they just didn't give the opportunity to have that much of a lead. Like they had a good chunk, like 27 minutes or something, but they didn't have like so much more. And again, they have less people on their team. So I don't think they thought it through like, hey, somebody else is going to have to, come back again to do the fourth part of the challenge. We're going to have all these like other obstacles to go through. Like they didn't really think that through. And I just didn't like the, oh, Tori's on that team, so I have to help her because it's a girls' elimination. You have three women standing next to you. You might have two at the end of the night. Like, what are you even talking about?
I don't know. The logic wasn't logicking, and we're gonna move into the second event, which was a puzzle. And the people for this one were going to be Olivia and Anissa versus Devin and Nani because Devin is a quote unquote puzzle master. Um, and in this one, they would need to get all 8 pieces to the station and complete the puzzle. And the time will stop once done. Olivia and Anissa, I'll give them props. They were killing it. Like they got most of their pieces to their station while Devin and Nani were taking their sweet time.
Yeah, Olivia and Anissa work well together. I think that between Olivia coming in as a rookie and giving her opportunities for these last couple of, daily challenges and eliminations that she's gone through, she has, come into her own self as a player this season, and I could respect seeing her. However, she is annoying. And then also Anissa, you know, her 35th time coming back on the show. We've seen Anissa time and time again. But honestly, Anissa this season, she's been, I would say, more than impressive than she has been in her previous seasons on the show, to be honest. But Devin and Nani, like, what pissed me off when Nani decided to go along with Devin in her little confessional moment, she goes and says, if there's any opportunity for me to do something, it would be now because it's a puzzle, number one. So she assumes it would be easier. And two, because she's doing it with Devin, she thinks that Devin is going to do all the work. Like, shit like that is like, I can't root for you because clearly you're lazy and you want to be carried. But whatever.
She was gonna, I was gonna say she was gonna have him carry her like C2 carried her partner, in that nation.
Okay, say that again.
So Olivia and Anissa had the lead on Devin and Nani, with configuring the puzzle, but they were struggling to get that last piece to stick in. But they managed to get it in, and they had the puzzle done first. Devin was pissed that he couldn't get it done as quick as possible. But their team still had good time over the other team, so that's something that they should at least be proud of, at least. And then we're going to move on to the next event, which was a memory one, which was going to be Tori Bananas versus Frosio and Amber, where they will start in the middle of the field, and one of them will run to the board with the pattern, the other to the board where you have to recreate the pattern. They'll reconvene at their starting point, and the person who went to the board to recreate it, they'll redo that at the other board, and the time will stop once the puzzle is completed. I feel like Devin could have done this one instead.
I mean, well, they don't know which one is which. I think that this honestly was best fit for Horacio just because of the endurance portion of it. Because yes, it's a memory puzzle part of it, but Devin has to keep running up and down. Like Devin is
Yeah.
okay, but he's not Horacio. So I actually think that Amber and Horacio work well together, and I think that the both of them were suitably fit for this portion of the challenge.
Yeah, I really liked their communication and how he was kind of really taking his time of telling her what was what from the board. And Livy was like, Horacio works well when he's like in it, but like not under pressure. He was having a good pace and really thinking out what to tell Amber to put on the other board. Um, and Amber completed the puzzle. Their time stopped at an hour and 55 minutes when she completed it. The other team was well over 2 hours at that point. And Tori, I finally completed the puzzle after that. Their time stopped at 2 hours and 32 minutes. And Tori is like, we need to go back to kindergarten because we couldn't get this.
Yeah, I just think I mean, not surprising that Tori and Bananas didn't do well, honestly. Yeah. Like Bananas is just there. Tori is, I don't know, sometimes she's there, sometimes she's not. And it depends on the challenge and who she's partnered with. And this wasn't the one for them.
Yeah, so at this point, the yellow team was in the lead with their time. It all came down to the fourth event, which is called Bungee, where it was going to be Chauncey and Casey versus Mariah and Jordan, since the yellow team had less people. One of the guys had to go twice, and Jordan ended up going with Mariah for this one. So the pairs will be attached to a bungee, um, and will have to run to a bar and keep holding it so the time will stop for both of them. And this was interesting because this is really where the time really got away from the yellow team.
Yeah, this is where their niceties earlier started to really dig in their ass, essentially, in this challenge. I think that everyone having to restart and recalibrate and reset as this challenge went on because they didn't have any grip or they couldn't really figure out how to get the other partner to the pole. It was just like, all right, the time is going to keep going. And honestly, Mariah was doing well. Jordan did as well as he can, even though he was digging and he was trying his best. And he even had his little moment where he was like, Chauncey, you're not ahead of me. You're not in front of me. He's trying to literally gas himself up to push himself and try to, like, psych out the other person. But Chauncey held his own. Casey, she was there. And,
I'd be forgetting she there.
yeah, but she had an attendance. But I think that Mariah and Jordan, they just really set themselves up. And it was just, the time just went past them. And
Yeah,
I'm like, damn, like y'all really, really let this get in front of y'all to the point where you let all of that time that y'all had eat it up, and now you're back at square one.
yeah, because Mariah couldn't get the grip on the bar, and then they switched it so that Jordan was at the bar first. And that still didn't work because she couldn't dig as much to get to the end. I mean, she had the long legs. Like, that could have helped her or something, but it didn't help her as much. And props to Chauncey. They had and Casey at least. They didn't really have. They had a strategy, but it was what it was. At one point, Chauncey kept getting stuck at like middle, at least like third or fourth way to the bar, but he kept recalibrating. And he managed to make his way to the bar. At one point, he had to climb over Casey to get a hold on the bar, and time stopped for them. They stopped it at 3 hours and 9 minutes, while Jordan and Mariah were still going. And at that point, they were at 2 hours and 31 minutes. They literally let a whole 30 minutes go by because they had to re strategize how they were going to get to the bar together. Um, and they ended up just timing out. And that was just it.
Yep, and the lead was gone just like that, and all of that hard work that they had the opportunity to use to their advantage now is down the drain, and one of their women is going into elimination.
Yep. So Pink Team has won, and Amber had to tell Chauncey to not really be hard on himself after the win. And she wanted him to be proud of himself. And she was like, I gotta do what I gotta do now just to keep myself out of the nation because I don't want to go out. I don't want to go out, but if I do, I do. You gotta be here to just keep it going.
Yeah, their moment was cute. I think Chauncey showing emotion, crying about him being the deciding factor ultimately of Amber and her team going into elimination was, weighing on him. But honestly, this is a part of the game. And so he just had to go through this part of it where you're gonna be on the side of sending someone you love home. That's just the name of the game that you're in right now. And yeah, Amber's been there before, so she understands. And that was just a moment was just like, okay, Chauncey is learning that this is real.
Yeah. And so we go to interrogation with the winning team. They gotta interrogate Nani, Amber, and Mariah. Nani's the first to come in the room, and she says she appreciates them for helping her out this season with not being direct vote. And I'm like, okay, cool. I guess I'm like, those are your friends. Of course, they wasn't gonna vote you in. And she was like, I'm just gonna be ready for what happens, and I'm gonna come back.
Yeah, I mean, she's sitting across from her girlfriend and five of her closest friends of all time. Like, child, no one's voting her in. It was like the whole pep talk that Casey gave her as well. Like, you did as best as you can, babe. We understand. Like, girl, shut up. Nobody cares. At the end of the day, this girl is not going to be the main vote. Y'all are voting against Mariah and Amber. That's just it. Like, you can't fool us at this point.
Yeah. And Amber comes in. She poses a question to the group of who has been in a nation on a rookie season and made it to a final. Um, Fessy kind of deadpans at her, but he raises his hand. Anissa and Tori raises their hands as well. But I feel like I don't, even though I didn't see Anissa's original challenge season, I don't know if it had eliminations on that one. But that's what I saw online. But and also Tori was protected because she had Jordan the rest of the way on that season. But anyways, but it was really funny of the people who didn't raise their hands, Bananas, because Bananas didn't have a great rookie season because he got eliminated. Um, and she said that she wants to see Nani make the final and doesn't want to see her elimination. And Fessy says that he's not going to say Mariah's name because he can't count on her to save his ass. And like, we didn't need that point. But thanks, Fessy.
Not sure what you want us to do at this point. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, why are you calling this Amber? Like, I get you trying to build trust with Amber at this point, but
There
we
is
didn't
no
need
trust with
this.
Amber. I just think that Amber can be that dumb. Like, it's one thing that Nelson decided to be friends with him again and save him, and they went through that whole thing this season. But if Amber ever decides at any point in the opportunity to try to save him, girl, mm-mm, no, ain't no way.
You know. Mm-mm. And then we go to Mariah, and she knows obviously the vote's gonna be between her and Amber, for main vote. And she says she banks on her word and her loyalty to be something that stands out. Um, Fessy, like Vanessa said, essentially gave his team a green light to vote for Mariah. Since he said that communication had been cut after last week. Um, and Mariah said she was standing on what she did. And she's not gonna beg for him to save her. And she was like, if either you have my back or choose to betray me, that's on you. At this point, like we've been new, Fessy kind of washed his hands of her since they split up the team, split up into teams. Like we've been knew that, but now this is like even more feels like I can just wash my hands of her completely.
Yeah, they clearly were not friends when they came in the house. They were acquaintances. They came on the show because Fessy needed a partner. And as they went through the show and the experience together, Mariah realized who Fessy actually is and decided and came to her senses that, hey, this is not somebody who I really want to be aligned with. It is what it is. You treated me one way, I'm going to treat you back the same way 10 times over. And I just think that their relationship or their acquaintance is just, it needs to be no more. Like, it's clear. I don't need to hear about saved who and who didn't save who. They really are not bright eyes, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's just it at the end of the day. Then after the interrogation, Nani told Casey that she'll be fine and wants Casey to keep her head up if Nani does get eliminated. Amber was packing and emotional and told Chauncey to stay focused and that she leaves. And then you get to the zone and you gotta get to the vote. Fessy votes for Nani. Olivia votes for Nani. Bananas puts his vote on Amber because he's not gonna vote for Mariah or Nani. Um, Casey votes for Mariah. Chauncey votes for Mariah. Tori votes for Mariah. And Anissa submits that vote for Mariah. And Mariah is the main vote for this elimination, which we all knew was going to be that. So it is what it is.
Yeah, not surprising. She's a rookie. She hasn't been in elimination as yet, and I think that at that point, she was the obvious choice for everyone to choose.
Yep. And in the dagger draw, it's the first time in the season it's only been two of them. So it's a 50-50 chance on whether or not Nani or Amber will go in. And Amber is first to pick, and she's in shambles. She's like, I don't know what you want to pick. Nani, do you want to go first? Like, she was in a fit. But she got herself together and chose the dagger, and she got the safe one. So that means that Nani will be going against Mariah.
I'm glad she was safe. Honestly, she was stressing me the hell out between her trying to decide which dagger she was going to choose. But lo and behold, she chose the right one. That's just the bottom line. That girl was just like, oh, I don't know which one, Nani. Oh my God, I don't know. Do you want to go first? Should I go first? I don't know. Like, girl, if you don't pick some up, pick up a knife and keep it pushing, girl. We don't care. Like, pick it up.
Like, I
Oh
get
my
you
God.
friends. I get you are friends of her, but ma'am, this is about you and your safety.
Hello.
So with that, Nani and Mariah are playing I Can See, which they'll be starting at a back wall, and the wall in front of them will lift in front of them, and they'll see six scrambled words, and we'll have to unscramble them using letter tiles at their boards. And the first to unscramble all the words and hit the button. Let me be clear. Unscramble them and hit the button will win. And before they start the elimination, TJ decided to bring out a special guest and his bride or die and his wife, Roxanne Lavin.
It was cute. I mean, I thought it was like something was happening, like it was a special day or something. But TJ was like, "Shit, my wife is here. You getting some of this challenge money? Let's just go right into it and let's all like have a little moment." Because I was like, it's cute that his wife was there. Great opportunity and moment for her. She did. She clearly watches her husband and she knows what's up and she knows how to, you know, run a show. But also, I'm like, did we really need her on there? I don't know what the purpose of that was.
I don't know. It was a cute moment, but um, if you wanted to bring your wife out for a portion of an episode, you could have done that at a different time. Like, of all times,
Yeah. I
why
mean,
would
it
you
wasn't
bring her
it
for this
wasn't a
one?
women's elimination, which I understand. Like the whole, he was just like, "Oh, women power." You know how many other women's elimination there have been? Like, what was the point of it today?
What made this one so
Was it her
special?
birthday?
I
Yeah,
don't know.
it was her birthday. I don't know what was happening.
I don't, I don't know.
I don't
What about
know.
this
I
donation
guess
was
it
so
was their
special?
anniversary. Yeah,
Child.
I don't know. Um,
I don't-
she wanted her moment. She wanted her time to shine. Listen, she got it. Roxanne, honey, you did a good job. Great.
She did. Yeah, she did. So we get into elimination, and Nani is killing it. Like, she was looking at, she got the first two words together, and then Mariah was recreating the words on her board, and TJ kind of whispered to his wife, "Like, that's not a good strategy," but it kind of worked for her, except in the end.
Yeah, I think that I think what Mariah was trying to do was be more methodical and put the words that she sees on the board so she can see it herself instead of straining her back and trying to see the words as it is pulled up on the screen. But it was just like as soon as some of those words came out, like I got them immediately. So I don't know how they couldn't see it in the moment, but nonetheless, like Mariah was getting her words together, which okay, some people see it differently.
You rid of yourself.
I this was fairly simple. I think that this challenge wasn't like anything crazy.
Yeah. I felt some people online kind of felt like this was kind of rigged for Nani. I'm not saying it was, but people are speculating that it was.
I wouldn't be surprised because we've seen them rig time after time after time after time. However, I just think that even if, let's say, it was rigged for Nani, like one spelling word off, and she would have still lost.
Yeah.
That's how damn dunce this shit is. Like, girl, everyone has been dragging your ass to this final. You got your girlfriend, you got your five best friends, you got everybody trying to win and root for you, and you still almost lose.
Child.
Like, literally one word.
um, yeah, because at one point, 90 Days stuck on the word that Mariah spelled wrong. It was devotion. Um, and it was really just neck and neck. It just really came down on who hit the button first and who got the right spelling. Because Mariah spelled devotion wrong, which meant that Nani won. And I'm like, this is very anticlimactic. It it really was.
I mean, I noticed the word that was spelled wrong, but like, because I was trying to look at Mariah's board and something looked off. And once that was pointed out, I'm like, oh damn, that was what it was. But I wish that Mariah would have won low key, just so that we could have gotten rid of this chick and we could have seen like what would have happened if Mariah came back. Because I think that she is a stronger woman on that team than Nani at this point. Nani just has the numbers on her side in terms of the people on the other side of that team. But honestly, Mariah is a stronger woman to me. But Mariah did lose. However, she's not out of the game completely. Of course, we know because once her ride or die is still in the house, she still has the opportunity to come back. So, yeah.
And Mariah said that she was secretly happy that she's gone because she knew that Bessie only really needed her for his own selfish reasons. And I love the growth that we've seen of her of like realizing her own worth and taking out the blinders. So I appreciate that about her. And TJ told Nani that she looked like her old self. Um, and I saw online people was like, "You have everybody rooting for Nani, even TJ." And like, what does this come to? It's like, are y'all gonna let Nani like just run to the final? Like, what is this?
I would hope not. I think that TJ was just he understood what was happening. I'm pretty sure production ran him down on, the situation with her mom and everything. So he was just, you know, being polite, trying to come up with something to say. I don't know, like trying to make her feel great. Because
Yeah,
honestly, it was very much basic and it was like, okay, cool. Everybody, Akila in the B1. Now let's get back to the challenge. Like, it's whatever.
So yeah, that is the end of the recap. Nani's still in the game, and we'll see how everything else shakes up. I feel like we're going to get the switch back to partners soon. Um, because I'm tired of these teams. Because what's the point of them at this point? Because we're really getting down to the nitty gritty. So
Yeah, there's not much left for them to do in these teams because it's very lopsided. So they should honestly just go back.
yep. And now we're gonna get into the tweets from this episode. We always every week look through the challenges hashtag and find tweets that have been funny, enlightening, and just commentary. So the first tweet is actually from Mariah herself. So funny thing about this elimination. They weren't supposed to help, but Casey helped Nani. Jordan said, "Really?" And then helped me.
We didn't see that this week. Honestly, it was a lot quieter on the set because it seemed like as if though Casey was the only one helping Nani, which I really wish we would continue to do going forward. Like, everybody shut up and let these people compete. Because honestly, if they could see, especially in a challenge like this where they have the advantage of seeing the board and someone can be able to see something that someone on the floor isn't able to, it's just like, what is the point of everyone yelling?
Yeah. Like, it doesn't help nobody. It makes us as the viewer just not like the entertainment value of it. It kind of waters it down and it doesn't help nobody. The next tweet, hold on, my screen went blank. The next tweet says, I would have let Fessy throw up for 6 hours before I helped him. Y'all know damn well he wouldn't have given the other team a hand if it was reversed. And that's facts. Because we've known time and time again that Fessy plays for himself. He is not about to help nobody else unless it benefits him. So he wasn't going to help them at all. If Jordan was one yakking for longer than he did, he wasn't going to help him.
For sure. I think that that honestly just was a dumb move from Devin and company. And yeah, next time they'll learn the lesson. Just don't say anything. Let it go.
Yeah. And next tweet, in accordance to that, Fessel suffering through this challenge is my favorite genre of the challenge. And it was really delightful to see.
We've seen it before. We've seen it when he was in the final with Casey and couldn't really compete and finish. So I just wish that we had an opportunity to see what would have really happened if he was left out to dry.
Yeah. The next tweet, when Amber asks who had to fight through nations to Ricky Season, and Bananas just having the ghost of Ricky Season past flashback before his eyes. Because there's a screenshot attached to it. You can look in the DMs. I'll send it to you, or you just look in the DMs of the page. It's in there. But this is a photo. It's a screen cap of him just looking like, oh shit, I did not do that. I was
Right.
gone.
I mean, I feel like they know Amber's resume at that point, and they know that some of it does not line up. He has 7 wins, yes, but still, she did something that he's never done before and never will have the opportunity to do. So just put some respect on Amber's name.
Yeah. And the last tweet. I'm so tired of everyone babying Nani. If she doesn't go to the final this time with the amount of people she has protecting her, then she really shouldn't come back. It's honestly not even good TV at this point.
At this point, it's been not good TV for the past 4 seasons that we've been watching this shit. Um, yeah, at this point, we need people to be vetted a little bit more. We need different vets. We need more rookies who are wanting to win and get the vets out of this house and just break up the alliance that is what it is now, because we keep coming back to the same thing every single season. Once we get to a certain point and there's a certain amount of people left in the house and a certain group of people left in the house, we start to see the same old storylines. So it's the same old, especially with Nani. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, like she needs to take another break. And that's it. Or just retire. Like I said last season, just retire.
It's about time some of them actually give it up for good, because we have more people to get from, like, out of the pot. It doesn't have to be the same people. So I think that it's not even just up to them to retire. First of all, they love coming on the show. Obviously, they love the check. They love being there. That's one thing. But then also production keeps casting these people, so that's also another thing where it's like, can y'all just go through another batch and group of people to get through? Because I'm positive that new people can bring new drama and just something else to shake it up rather than having the same thing over and over.
I low key miss Kayla and Sam already. Like I've been like Kayla and Sam leaving the first
Now
episode.
you're doing a lot, and I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not with that
Okay.
at all. Yeah, no, okay. Anyway, girl, what? From the first time they went out the door, I was like, okay, bye. Like, I had never heard All Stars in her lying ass. So please, her and her man can go They've been married for like 3 seconds. Please be in a marriage together and come back to us when y'all have, something else going on. Or don't. Yeah. Anyway, we need new people on the show. I've seen some names that's been thrown around for All Stars. I'm interested to see if these people actually get casted. We'll talk about it when All Stars comes back up, but honestly, I think that we need some new blood in this house, in this situation, because it's going to be the same old. But nonetheless, we'll be back every week to talk about it. So thank you guys for listening. You can follow our page at Duel Lines Pod. You can follow our YouTube page at Duel Lines Podcast. You can follow Megan's page at Megan Hines. You can follow my page at ace_s5. And we'll be back next week to talk more of the challenge season 38, Ride or Die. Thank you for watching, listening, whatever. And yeah, Happy New Year.
Yeah, bye.